right, man, we're here to get it done on a Monday. It is time to launch, baby. Light that fuse, get that rocket up in the air. It is Polymath Particles, 11 a.m. installment on a Monday. Hope everybody had a great weekend. Holy S, what a weekend it was. I don't even know where to begin. There was so much going on all weekend long, like nonstop. What do you want, a giant sweep? Check. What do you want? Incredible Warrior drama with an L yesterday attached to a Steph Curry scores 3 points. What the hell? Okay, check. What do you want? One of the best college basketball comebacks I've seen in years. As Houston finds a way to beat Duke at the end of that game. That was insane. All right, check. What do you want? A women? You want a women's national title? We already got that one for you. Check. UConn Husky women. Congrats, you're champions. What did I leave out? Oh, let's see here. We've also got NHL hockey records being broken. Wayne Gretzky is now looking up at Ovechkin. Holy S. We're going to talk to Ted Ramey about that. But you know how easily distracted I am, Tony. I look over. I made the mistake / great move of looking over at the comments line before we went live today. And I saw my guy, Aaron Kask, already with a great thread happening about female bass players. That's one of my favorite topics of all time, and I have about 8,000 names to add to that list. So, Aaron Kask, hang tight. I'm going to address that in a second. But first of all, Creative Tony, how you doing? I want to talk Longbridge, but I see what your Pearl Jam hat. How you doing on a Monday?
I'm all right, man. You talk about a Houston comeback. I frame it as a Duke gag job, total choke job by Duke. That's how I frame it. You mentioned looking up. I would say, hey, Dodgers, how does it feel looking up at the Giants right now in the NL West? Hey, Padres, how does it feel to be looking up at the Giants in the NL West? Double guns to the Dodgers. We don't have to explain why, but I'm just going to give double guns right now to the Dodgers.
F them 10 days out of the week and twice on Sunday. That's right.
Forever.
I'm adding 3 extra days to the calendar. And by the way, Tony, I got to already take issue. We're going to have to fight like right out of the gate, 5 seconds into the show. I'm wondering why you feel compelled to, and I didn't expect this kind of tension so early in the show. God knows where we'll go from here. But I'm like, why are you not wanting to credit Houston for their incredible comeback? You see,
dude, Duke was up like 14, dude. They were.
How do you not credit Houston?
They were turning the ball over, and then
nothing for Houston. In the name of Jim Nance. I mean, Jim Nance is listening. For God's sake.
Fine. By the way,
that's not giving Houston credit for hitting those shots or stealing the ball. Nothing. Nothing.
But I have to say, I had a vested interest in the game. I had Duke in a pool where I would run hundreds of bucks.
That's what you get.
I'm still watching the game. They're up 14, and I'm watching them turn the ball over, and then I watch. With 19 seconds left, the refs blow the whistle on one of the most ticky-tack fouls I've ever seen in college basketball on the best player in the game. They're not going to give him the respect. They call a foul on him that puts Houston on the line. Granted, Duke, you got to make your free throws, so I'll say that as well.
Yeah, I was going to say, best player in the game who was missing his key shots in the late.
He didn't miss the free throw. He didn't miss the free throw. But he got called for that ticky-tack foul, puts Houston on the line. I was like, okay, whatever.
I've never heard you rush to Duke's defense like this.
I'm not rushing to Duke's defense. I'm saying, like, again, transparency. I had a vested interest, but I'm sitting there watching. Come on, man. They just gagged it away. Houston, tip your cap for staying in the game. No question.
What about all the shots they hit? What about the intercepted passes? They were putting so much
sloppy basketball by Duke. Also, it's both. It's both.
Yeah, whatever you say, man. All right, hey, it's more of a Duke loss than a Houston win, I guess. Is that how we're saying?
That's how I would like to.
Whatever you want to say. Whatever you need to do.
By the way, I would put a freaking paycheck on the fact that Houston wins tonight with a favorable whistle. Paycheck.
Why do you think that?
I think that. Yeah.
Go ahead.
The Kelvin Sampson story is a wonderful story, and he's 70. He's about to be 70 years old. He's been to the Final Four a few times. It's like here he's finally in at the national championship again. Like I don't know. I just think if there is a if there's an undertone, if there's a story, if there's a narrative,
there's an undertone.
That would be it.
All right, listen, man. Let's move it on. We got other shit to address. Yeah. By the way, speaking of champions, I really do want to give UConn women some love because, dude, that's what I'm saying, dude. 12. Tom Brady's sitting around with envy right now. You know what I mean? You could combine Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes, and Steph Curry, put them all together. I'm not sure they would even, I guess they would surpass 12 at that point. But still, the point is 12 titles. Gino Auriemma, gangster. The guy is 12-1 in national championship games. What the hell, man? Anyway, congrats to the women. That was a great one for them.
I have one question for you, Paulie. Back to the national championship game tonight. Are you rooting for former USF Don and former St. Mary's Gael Todd Golden?
No,
or
no, I'm not. I
Dude,
reject
come
him.
on.
I reject him for leaving the hilltop. He should
Come
have
on.
stayed up here and done that for USF. Why do they always have to move on? They
dude.
Start something great at USF. They're like, yeah, now I'm out of here. They use
because
USF.
Florida dangles millions of dollars in his face and says, "Come down to Florida, and we'll take care of you."
The only good thing about the Gators in my mind is Julie Banerjee and Rick Ganji. After those two, I got no time for the Gators. I don't chomp. I don't do any of that shit. And by the way, I'll say it again if I have to. My main blanking man, James Nance, is a proud graduate of Houston.
Yes,
I stand with Jimmy Nance. I stand with gentleman
That's
Jim
fine.
Nance.
I'm going Gators. Maybe we put a side wager on this, Paulie. You and I. You take Houston. I'll take Florida tonight, and we'll
whatever you want to do. Yeah, whatever you want to do to make you happy on a Monday. I'm fine. I'll play along. Hey guys, I want to say also it's Longbridge Pizza time on a Monday. As we kick off the week, we got a lot of cool shows planned for you. We have special guests throughout the week sprinkled in. We're going to join Ted Ramey's going to join us rather in a few minutes. Talk about what Ovechkin just accomplished, where the Sharks go from here, stuff like that. But first, Longbridge Pizza. Okay, did you guys get out to Longbridge over the weekend? I'm hoping everybody did. You got the there was so much going on at Chase Center. You got the Warriors yesterday. Tough loss, dude. Very, very tough loss. But
I want to get into that, by the way, later.
We will.
I want to get
we're gonna. And if I didn't mention this, we have to finish our bummer brackets today, so we're gonna close the books on that. But in the meantime, if you have not been to Longbridge Pizza yet, first of all, my question is, what are you waiting for? It's all lined up for you. I mean, Neil's flipping pies down there like a gangster. It's longbridgepizza.com. Check out the menu online if you'd like to place an order. You don't have wheels. You can't make it over there. You want to Uber. That's fine. They'll deliver it right to your doorstep. Take advantage of that. Tony takes a train up from the South Bay. You get off Caltrans, you walk over there. It's like a 7-minute walk. He said 7.5, something like that. You get that heart beating a little bit. And then you go enjoy the great food, the laid-back vibe, the serious pizza. Also, dive into the sandwiches. We've talked about Vinny's Gabagool. We've talked about the Tony's Eggplant Parm, for God's sake. That was actually the first article of food I saw when we had our opening day party. When they brought out that eggplant parm, I was like, that does look pretty damn good. And here's how much of a gangster Neil is, a guy who runs Longbridge. When he brings you a eggplant parm or a chicken parm, you know what else he does? He comes with a side cup filled with marinara sauce.
Yeah.
So you can dunk that S, okay? Because he knows I'm going to be dunking. Tony, right? You want to dunk? You can speak to it.
Yeah. It's all about the extra sauce and about the dunk too.
You got to dunk, Tony. I'm just telling you. Yeah.
I mean, for me, the best pizzas in the world and the best like chicken parms and veal eggplant parms it's for me. It's about the sauce. It makes the pizza in my mind, and the sauce they use, and then Neil does the sourdough crust as well. And I got to give love. I got some pizza. I got some Longbridge pizza porn sent to me on Friday from some people that went to Longbridge after the Giants home opener.
Nice.
Shout out the particles of the Adamas walk-off.
After we dismissed the class, I'm like, I want to go watch the end of this Giants game. Get David Lee Roth involved. Boom, he dismissed the class. I go downstairs. Game over. Walk off. Holy shit. I was like, particles are flying around today.
So we had some of the PMP Army show up at Longbridge after the game. A couple of gangster moves by going straight from Chase Center. I'm sorry, straight from Oracle Park to Chase Center for Dubs Nuggets, dude. By the way, let's not sleep on that win by the Dubs also on Friday night. I mean, dude, beating Jokic and
unbelievable. I also think, Tony, honestly, that's kind of why they were just mentally, physically, spiritually depleted yesterday. Like, I want to give Houston credit. They had a great defensive game plan. Steph couldn't do anything. Steph couldn't even, he couldn't move out there. So credit to the Rockets for D'ing up in a great way. They had a great strategy last night. But like you said, dude, those incredibly emotional wins over LA and then Denver, the bubble had to pop at some point. So, Tony, I believe now, I think the Warriors record when Butler and Curry are on the floor together, I believe they're at 21-3.
And then also they were the starting lineup of Butler, Podziemski, Moody, Draymond, and Steph was 14-0 before yesterday. And now they're 14-1. And by the way, the other starting five that had that long of a streak goes back to Steph, Clay, Harrison Barnes, Draymond, and Andrew Bogut. Bogut Nights. It goes back to the Bogut Nights.
Shout out Bogut Nights. By the way, there's a huge fly in this
Nice.
studio. I don't know where this thing came from.
Dude, get your Miyagi chopsticks, dude.
Dude, well, stand by. Can I use pens instead? I'm actually quite skilled with chopsticks. Can I use pens instead? I don't have.
Hold on, time out, by the way.
Oh, there he is. He's right by the camera. You might see me take a fly down on the show today. Yeah,
I'm actually quite skilled with chopsticks.
I really am.
You slid that in there like it was like
I'll take on all comers, man. I'll take on all comers when it comes to chopsticks. I can hold my own. All right, Tony. Final words on Longbridge. Go ahead, T.
I was just gonna say
I'll eat my goddamn pizza with chopsticks if I got to make a point. You'll see. I'll do it.
Longbridge is
a whole
closed.
Slice. Yeah,
they're closed today, but now the Giant season is in full swing too. Get to Longbridge before or after. You know what? A nice stroll through the dog patch and through Potrero Hill and I'm sorry, the dog patch and then Potrero Hill on your left to get to Oracle Park.
Give the Angels a fist bump when you walk by the clubhouse over there in dog patch.
Totally.
Say what's up. Yeah. Say Big Steve says hello. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm telling you, they're closed today, but they're back open tomorrow, Tuesday through Sunday, and then they'll be back open with smash burgers and then the chopped cheese. It's not on the menu, but you can ask for the chopped cheese. It's like a secret menu item. Ask for the chopped cheese.
Yeah, man. I highly recommend. That's their version of a cheesesteak over there. That's my only regret for the Longbridge opening day party we had is that I don't think I got my hands on the chopped cheese that day. My only regret.
There'll be opportunities in the future.
Yeah,
for future hangs.
I want to have a future hang like ASA blank and P too, dude. Right. I want to get back in there for like a warrior party. Neil, I hope you're listening because I really want to do that. All right. Anyway, Tony. Now I know you're not on board yet, and I know I said something a couple of weeks ago, and I think it was Noemi who got upset. She goes, "Paulie, no spoilers." So I won't give any spoilers, but I do want to acknowledge the final installment of White Lotus last night, season finale.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Rags, help me out. Where do I begin with it? Rags and I had like a pregame powwow before.
Nice.
And by the way, he called something. He called something that actually happened because I go, Rags, give me some calls. And he goes, well, here's what's going to happen with the dad. Here's what's going to happen with Goggins. By the way, Goggins out here running amok, dude. Goggins, you'll see. Hey, you'll see. When you watch it, you're going to see. So anyway, the finale is in the books. You want to comment on that? I guess send it to the email show. Oh, Noemi saw it last night. Okay. All right.
And Winks is saying it was weak. Winks is saying weak season finale.
Rags is tweaking his thing. He goes, I called out a lot of shit last night in capital letters. You kind of did, man. You kind of did. I was impressed. Okay. So Tony, also over the weekend, your Giants. Dude. I mean, what is this? What the hell is going on out here, bro? Here come the Reds tonight. By the way, Logan Webb on the hill. So I expect this thing to keep going.
Dude, the 4-1 win on Saturday with Robbie Ray, then Birdsong, then Walker.
By the way, we got to address Robbie Ray's pants, dude. Could they be any tighter?
No,
not since Robert Plant.
And
bro.
I'm a fan.
Dude, at this point, stick a cucumber down your pants and get it over with. Because, dude, those things are painted on. I'm talking like Stephen Piercy Invasion of Your Privacy tour spandex tight, dude. Anyway, go ahead. I couldn't take my eyes off his lower half because they were so tight. I was like,
they should go instead of these weak ass City Connects that they're about to debut.
Wait, when are those coming out, T?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Is that this week? I guess
no idea. Tuesday? Do they play Tuesday? I got to look at the schedule.
Till Tuesday. Shout out Amy Mann. Go ahead, Tony.
I would rather than put I don't know, kind of like Savannah Banana style. The teams that they play like where tassels are hanging off the uniform, or you
That's
have
not a bad call.
You know what I mean?
A few tassels. Yeah.
Could you imagine a jersey with tassels hanging off?
Only problem is, what if like you're trying to break up a double play at second and like the throw goes through the tassels? You'd have like tassel interference. They'd have to like review the play. Giants have just lost their last challenge. There was a tassel involved. You know what I mean? It could like affect the game. Yeah, but I like it. I like the tassel. I do.
Tassels.
Yeah.
But Robbie Ray on the mound, and then Birdsong another 2 clean innings. He gave up a couple hits, but that's fine. And then Walker to close the door. And then but the clutch hitting of Matthew Chapman on Saturday.
Yeah.
2 doubles.
Yeah.
The guy, I mean, the
right
Giants,
now they're all hitting, dude. Everyone's hitting.
Right, but last year, dude, the main concern was, man, they're leaving runners on base every freaking game. So far, not the case. And again, I want to just reiterate, hey, Dodgers, how's it look from down there?
Okay.
I freaking love it, dude. I love it. I'm just loving every second of it.
Well,
and then yesterday, dude, the
magic, every minute of it. Shout out to the boys in Loverboy, Tony.
Loving every minute of it.
Yeah,
totally. And then, dude,
and by the way, shout out to Mike Reno, their lead singer, who used to be like this little kind of wafy guy back in the day. You seen him lately? I'm saying he's at least $3 at least $3, and he's still walking out there with the headband on. The poor bastard. He looks terrible. If you find a picture of Mike Reno, Tony, go ahead and throw it up for the masses to see.
Oh, isn't that Mike Reno's ass on the cover of the album?
Get lucky, pal. Get lucky. Yeah. I have it on vinyl.
Red leather pants?
Well, it's more of a pink, really. It's more of a pink leather.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
More of a lavender.
Well, that was
with
back
the
in
fingers
Mike Reno's,
crossed.
fingers crossed over the butt cheeks, correct?
What does that mean? What's the message he sent it out to the masses on that one? My finger is crossed over my ass, and the title of the album is "Get Lucky." What are we saying here, bro?
Yeah, I don't know. And with all due respect, I with all due respect, Paulie, I bring to you, present day Mike Reno.
That's what I was asking for. I told you. Look at him, dude. That's Mikey Reno. Look at my boy. Hot girls in love. Hot girls in love. Everybody's working for the weekend. Everybody's eating for the weekend, bro. I mean, everybody's going through the drive-through for the weekend. Everybody's going to the drive-through.
Ooh, dude, he said, turn me loose. He turned himself loose, dude.
What is this phenomenon of lead singers becoming fat as hell? Like, what is going? Shout out Vince Neil. Shout out Mikey Reno. Shout out the guy in freaking Foreigner. Holy shit. Have you seen him?
Yeah.
I don't know. It looks like he got hit by a truck. He's out there like with a walker and stuff. Like, bro, what do we do? That's
why you got to respect a guy like Bob Weir, who's like takes a trainer on the road with him, and like
I'm throwing my hammer around, y'all.
The hammer throw.
You seen him with the hammer?
Yes, dude,
I'm working out with my hammer, y'all.
Yes.
I'm just getting ready.
And doesn't he work out like in like clam diggers and culottes?
Oh, like of course. Why wouldn't he? Of course. I got to do some lunges, and then I want to do 2 sets of snatches, y'all.
Oh, dude, come on. And the weight ball, he probably has like a weight ball, and it's
I want to do some clean and jerk, y'all.
Dude, well, you have a choice to make when you get to that stage of your career and this stage of your life. Do you want to just let it go?
No.
You want to let it go like
I don't
want
to let it go.
And Vince Neil, or do you want to be like Bob Weir and say, you know what? I'm going to keep up with John Mayer. I'm going to keep up. If John Mayer's going to wear a sleeveless shirt, I'm going to wear a sleeveless shirt. That picture that we had of the show we
Bobby
saw
with the guns ripped out of granite. He's like 73. Slayer.
Slayer, but it says Mayer on the
with
logo.
He's in a pentagram. Dude,
right, but the guns on Bob Weir. I mean, it's just unbelievable, dude. I was like, I thought it was photoshopped, but it wasn't.
You know what's so funny? I was talking to my buddy Winks. Shout out Winks. I see you in the comments line today. What's up, man? As well as the rest of all of y'all. Dom, Aaron, Scarlet Fire, John Joseph, Matt, Losty, all of my guys, Rags. I was talking to Winks about this a couple of years ago about how like we've now crested like the age of 50 and like where do we go from here? Do we just cash in and just say F it? Give me the bag of Lay's potato chips, give me the large Coke, and let's back that up with some Cool Ranch and maybe a couple of bars of chocolate afterward. Is that the road I take, or do I keep fighting like Mick Jagger? Do I keep fighting? And then Wink said something so funny because I thought this was pretty good. He goes, well, you know what, dude, I got to keep fighting. And I go, how come? And he goes, because I'm just too vain. And I go, dude, you know what? That's not a bad motivation. If that's what keeps you in shape, vanity, go ahead, because it gets harder and harder. I can promise you that.
Well, look at this too, Paulie. I want to show it just because we talked about it.
Yeah.
Look at Bobby there.
I got my gun. Sun's out, guns out.
Look at those arms.
No, I know.
I mean, like this is a few years ago, but still, look at those arms. I'm like, you got to be kidding me, dude. So yes, Bobby, thanks for the inspiration. Mike Reno, maybe give Bobby a call. You know?
Mikey, I want to talk to you about your lifestyle choices, y'all. I want to mix in some herbal cleanses. All right. Anyway, so Tony.
So back to the Giants.
Yeah. That was a good little detour, a little Bob Weir detour right there.
It was. I'll do a Bob Weir detail all damn day. I had a dream about him over the weekend. By the way, you and I on stage with Bob Weir in a drum circle. It was just a drum circle.
Nice.
And that's all it was. But
was he on drums too? Was Bobby on drums?
Yeah. We all had like
give me some mallet. I want to play with my hands, y'all. Yeah.
It was, but it wasn't the stage was like in the middle of a forest. It was
beautiful.
Wonderful.
I love that dream. It's a great dream right there.
I know, but that's all I remember from it. That's all.
Who was it, Bob? Me, you, and who? Winks?
Me, you, and Bob Weir.
Oh, and Bobby? Okay, cool.
I wrote a note about that over the week. I'm like, I got to remember to revisit.
It's a good dream. I like that dream.
I woke up. Anyways, yeah.
Shout out number 9 Dream. Shout out Dream On. Shout out That's What Dreams Are Made Of. Tony
Dreamweaver, dude. Dreamweaver. Come on.
Throw a little Dreamweaver on the pile. Absolutely. Go ahead though, Tony. Finish your
do you want to give Van Hagar credit for That's What Dreams Are Made Of?
I don't like the song at all personally, but I'll throw it on. You know what I'm saying? Oh, bro, yeah. Like, what are we doing? What did they do to my Van? Look how they massacred my Van Halen. You know what I mean? All right, Tony. When that happens,
by the way, time out.
Yeah.
We never gave love on Friday. It was our fault on Friday because we did the first ever happy hour show on Friday for the home opener.
Yeah.
Which was a lot of fun. Thank you all those that joined us. Thank you so much.
Hardcore gangsters lining up on Friday to watch the show. Noemi on Bart. It was incredible. Yeah.
And you know what? If you want to have some fun like late at night, one of these nights this week, go back to that show on YouTube at Polymax Particles and dive in. It was a fun show. But Neil, dude, we didn't give love to Neil Sean doing the national anthem for the home opener on Friday.
Was a really good version too. He pointed up
really
in the sky.
Good.
Yeah, he's one of the great. Neil Sean, dude. From what my sources tell me, by the way, I think he might live like right up the street from me. I've heard this like a variety of times that Neil Sean's like right around.
You should go stalk him. Start leaving stuff on his
I'm
doorstep.
out in this like driveway playing Wheel in the Sky, holding up a friggin' boombox. Wheel in the sky, keep on time. By the way, every now and again, I do shout him out on Twitter. Like he'll post all these clips of himself playing guitar. He does it every day. He's a very good follow, by the way.
Oh, totally. He is a very good follow, right? Bolly, just go leave him a PMP t-shirt and some stickers on his doorstep.
Not a bad call. I want to be respectful, Neil, but I'm a fan. I'm going to stalk you from a distance. Here's some buttons. Put that shit on when you're on tour. Dude, imagine seeing Neil Sean with a PMP thing on his guitar strap. That'd be killer. All right, anyway, Tony.
Back to the Giants real quick before we get to Dubs, before we get to Ted Ramey.
And brackets, dude. We got to do brackets.
We got to do brackets, too. The great call by Bob Melvin to pinch hit Wilmer Flores.
Oh.
And Wilmer clutches up.
Wilmer doesn't give a shit. That's what he doesn't care about like pressure.
Yes.
He's like immune to all of that. I'm a Flores head, Tony. I'm a Flores
totally.
head. Yeah,
totally. He's so chilled. He's not like a big rah-rah guy.
No.
Yeah, and he just executes, man. And the one thing with Wilmer, chances are he's at least going to put the ball in play. He's not going to strike out. Like he is just a contact guy. And that piece of hitting he did, they're shading him to pull, and then he hits that ground ball in between first and second, shaded towards second base. And I'm just like, oh my God, that's a beautiful piece of hitting. The same way that Adamas's piece of hitting on Friday was a great. He took that slider opposite field off the end of the bat for a little flare into right field, ball game over. I mean, the Giants are clutching up in such a different way. They didn't clutch up last year. They were not good.
No, there was nothing clutch about them. No, they're horrible.
Right. Yeah, so it is so fun to see. And dude, I want to give some love to Jung-Hoo Lee, who's like,
he's an exciting player. So far, so good with Jung-Hoo.
Yeah, he's batting a little under 400, dude, and he's playing a very electrified.
He's already got his own cheering section out there. They're all wearing the t-shirts and shit. He's got his own thing going. And by the way, I want to welcome a new face to the. Oh, there's my guy Ryan Fong. What's up, Fong, man? Also, I want to. What?
From Florida. I think Ryan Fong's the Florida check-in.
You're goddamn right he is checking in from Florida. That's the Sunshine State, I believe. I don't know. Yes. Say what's up to Robin Zander, by the way, Ryan Fong. He's got a pad down there. I'm not sure where, but you find him for me and give him a fist bump. And then on top of that, Tony, I also want to mention, ready for this handle? Jim Bull. Bull. Jim Bull checking in from Santa Cruz, one of my favorite places on the planet. Someday when I retire, Tony, whenever that is, when I'm like 170, when I'm finished paying off all my debts, I think I want to move down to Santa Cruz and just like walk the streets with a blanket on and shit and get in drum circles.
You'll be happy as hell. You'll be happy as hell.
Yeah, watch surfers, all that stuff. Dude, I love Santa Blanket Cruise. I love it. By the way, check out the Pearl Jam song called Santa Cruz. It's it's an outtake, but it's on Spotify. Look it up. It's a great
That is a deep cut right there, Paulie. Nice pull.
It's a beautiful song. Beautiful song.
Since Ryan Fong checked in from Florida, I want to go over to Japan real quick, and I just want to say that Doug checked in from Japan, checked in over the weekend, saying that he was checking in from Sapporo, the home of the Nippon Ham Fighters. Giants fans may remember their flamboyant manager, Tsuyoshi Shinjo, when he became the Nippon Ham manager a couple of years ago.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Dude,
nice.
How about that, man? So
Shout out Shinjo. Yeah.
Doug repping strong in Japan. Thank you for that, Doug.
Let's see. Orlando. Oh, look at this guy. So Ryan Fong is in Orlando. We grew up on Clement and 24th. Shout out Gordo's Burritos. It's still right there. We all did time on Clement at some point. I was on 27th in California in Clement for a little while. If you remember that, Tony, it was brief. I was in, I was out fast.
I remember that, and I was 25th in Geary. 25th in Geary.
I was in and out of that one quick. Yeah. You're here, now you're gone. All right, Tony, anyway.
So you know what? I bet you Ryan knows about the Scorpion Bowl at Trader Sam's, which if you lived out there, if you frequented the area, the Scorpion Bowl at Trader Sam's, it's dangerous, and don't take one on yourself. they top it off with champagne. I mean, it's a wild ride.
Trader, that's a good description. Put that on the menu. Try our Scorpion Bowl. It's a wild ride. They should put that on. We should go back to Trader Sam's. What a great neighborhood hang that is. And if you really play your cards right, your Richmond District cards right, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to get all sauced up over at Trader Sam's with those Scorpion Bowls, and then you basically just stagger across the crosswalk, and you sit down in Tommy's joint for a nice. Yep. You sit down, maybe wash it down with another margarita just to make sure.
Yep.
But then you're going to want to enjoy the food over at Tommy's. One of my favorite spots.
In my sausage eating days, the huevos con chorizo.
Can you make a soundbite out of that, please? In my sausage eating days, I'd like to immortalize that. Tony, flag that.
When I used to devour pork product, the huevos con chorizo at Tommy's was out of this world. I mean,
you're making me hungry now. The appetite, it's starting to spike. Yeah.
Hey, Paulie, can we pivot to Dubs? I'm asking permission to pivot to Dubs because I got a couple of things.
Sure.
I think the bummer bracket we can handle after Ramey. I really do believe that we have the final four and then the champion. I really do believe that.
I'm not disputing it. Yeah, it's fine.
Good.
Yeah, I really do believe that. I just want to say I believe in this. It's like, I got you, man. We're good. We'll do it after. Don't worry.
Wait a second. The H is silent in huevos, Noemi? My bad.
Here we freaking go.
So it's huevos, not huevos. It's huevos. Did you know that, Paulie? I did not know that.
Well,
huevos.
It depends, because if you look at John Goodman in Revenge of the Nerds as the head coach, he's yelling at his guys and he goes, "You just got your asses whipped," and he pronounces that W, which is generally silent, but he or the H rather. He punches the H, which is generally silent. You would say whipped, not John Goodman. He's dropping
it's like Bernie Sanders with the huge instead of huge.
Yeah.
So I'll go huevos con chorizo. Thank you, Noemi. Seriously, I love that. Thank you. I want to get that right, dude. Dubs yesterday. I guess there's two things I just want to bring up about the game. Yes, they were tired. You know, I don't think anybody was surprised that they lost that game after beating beating Memphis, the Lakers, and Denver in those 3 games, right?
Right.
But you know, it's the first time Steph has scored 3 points. If Steph scores plays 30 minutes, it's the lowest point total he's ever scored.
They locked his ass up. They had him under lock and key last night. Yeah,
well, they Houston dominated in the paint too. And dude, when they go, they're two really tall dudes, Adams and Şengün. Look out, dude! Those 2 dudes in the paint. But then Draymond got into it, and Draymond was all riled up and. But the foul they called on Draymond in the second quarter, and they went to the booth, and then they still called it a flagrant.
Yeah,
I mean, dude, I love it when Kalena's pissed on the mic.
Yeah,
then you know it's a travesty. And Kalena's like, he literally said that is garbage.
Yeah.
I mean, because Draymond's just going to the hoop, and they called not only a foul on Draymond, they call a flagrant foul, number 1.
Yeah.
And then with 5:05 or 5:06 left in the third quarter. 71-63. The Dubs are losing. Steph launches a 3, and he gets,
destroyed.
Tackled.
Yeah, blown up, dude. It's like in hockey when you got a yard sale, the pads and the gloves go flying. It was like one of those. Yeah, he nothing. No whistle.
Nothing.
Tony. No whistle.
Nothing, dude. I could not believe
it. Jimmy Butler in the post game last night said he's never seen a player get fouled more than Steph Curry in his entire career. Jimmy Butler said that. Who doesn't talk a lot. I love how quiet Butler is. He's such a gangster, bro.
I know. And he doesn't get wrapped in a lot of that stuff, you know. Draymond's getting heated yesterday, and Jimmy's just walking around with stone face.
I just want to throw some more stuff out there real quick before Rames comes in. And I love Ted Ramey. I can't wait to rap with him. I haven't seen his beautiful face in a while.
Dude, bald Ted Ramey and our bald brothers. We used
bald to, is beautiful. Yeah. But you know what though, bro, you got to hit the weight room if you want to catch up with the physique of a Ted Ramey. He's coming, dude. We talked about pecs, traps, lats. He's got it all down. Tony, couple real quick things. On Tuesday, tomorrow, Warriors at Phoenix. Go ahead. I'm going to ask you to win that game, Warriors. You got 4 games left. I think I need them all. I think I need all 4 of them.
Yep.
Have you thought about this, Tony? All these disgruntled, superstars now. I'm actually going to turn on Klay Thompson for a second. He's in my scope today because I was thinking, like, Klay Thompson, he's so disgruntled, he has to get out of here. He can't be a Warrior any longer. Guess what? He probably ain't even going to make the playoffs. Kevin Durant. Oh, I hate winning titles with Golden State. I hate winning finals MVP in back-to-back seasons. What a miserable experience. Let me go to Brooklyn. Let me go to Phoenix. Hey, guess what? He ain't going to be in the playoffs either. I'm just throwing it out there.
I
All
know.
these guys that they can't figure a way out to be happy in one of the greatest environments and situations in the NBA, playing for Joe Lacob, getting coached by Steve Kerr. You could not ask for a better scenario if you're a pro ball player in the NBA. And these guys didn't want to be a part of it. So you know what? Hey, Clay, you have a good time watching the play. I am. I'm taking a stance today, Tony. I'm taking a punk stance. In fact, you know what? Where's my? Let me throw it up there just to make this official.
Right here,
I'm taking a punk rock. Thank you. And
you
I'll double down like this, Tony. Look at this. I got back to back. I'm taking a punk rock stance. Every time I hold this up, I'm going punk. I'm taking a punk stance on Klay Thompson and Kevin Durant, not wanting to be a part of this beautiful thing we're weaving together. And then speaking of punk rock, final thing, and then thank you, Tony. Then we're going to bring in Ted Ramey. Just to address my guy, Aaron Cass. Tony, feel free to jump on this if you have the balls, if you got the huevo.
Well, by the way, the message, that you're talking about with these guys is the grass isn't always greener.
No, grass is brown. It's all dried up. There's nothing there. There's no life. It's not even growing. We got a beautiful lawn. It's thick.
And Kevin, KD, you were living in one of the greatest places in the world, and you took it to go live in the desert, dude. Okay, fine.
Like him especially, dude. Him and KD, what are you doing, bro? What are you blanking doing? You should have been here the whole time.
They had a chance to,
you know what I mean? We'll do it without him. We'll do it without him. We'll do it live, Tony. We'll do it live.
The thing sucks.
This thing sucks. We'll do it live. Okay, Aaron Cask, real quick before Ted Ramey, you were talking about female bass players. This is one of my favorite topics of all time. I'm going to go ahead and pose a theory. There is nothing cooler, dare I say sexier, than a woman bass player playing hard and heavy music. Here come a couple of examples. Exhibit A, Darcy.
Wow, you took my favorite. Yeah,
that's okay.
My favorite.
Well, speak to her. She's a monster. Darcy with this.
Listen to the bass riffs on their first album, Gish.
Savage.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
And then listen to what she does on Siamese Dream, and then Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness. I mean, it is that after that, she's done after that, I believe.
You ever heard that song by, of course you have, but the song on Melancholy called Jelly Belly? It's one of the heaviest goddamn things I've ever, it's mayhem. And she's right there.
I'll match that with "Bury Me" off of Gish, where the bass line is dung digga digga dung dung digga digga dung digga digga, and that's how it starts. Then it just launches into this force. It's like you get punched in the face.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. There's a lot of that going on with the Pumpkins. All right, Tony, a few more for you.
Yes.
Here comes Tina Weymouth from the Talking Heads. She's
Bonnie's with you. Scarlet Fire's with you on that one.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, how about this one? Who's with me on Kira Rossler, female bass player in Black Flag? Imagine being in that band, being a chick in Black Flag. She had to take her lumps. Played in front of some unforgiving audiences, but that's some of the heaviest music ever recorded. And Kira Rossler right there holding her ground out of UCLA.
Winks on it with you. And
by the way, Kira's it. There you go.
Yeah. Noemi, you're one of the inspirations for this topic because we saw in the comment line that you were saying that you sat in on bass with your husband Ray's band on Friday night. I hope the gig went well, by the way.
Is Ramy waiting in the waiting room? Is he in the green room?
Ramey's waiting in the waiting room.
Okay, we'll continue this on the other side. I'll throw one more out there right now. Kim Deal. I'm going to give you Kim Deal from the Breeders. I saw her open for Nirvana. She was amazing. All right, Tony, bring him in. Bring in one of our favorite guys on the planet. He is he's a Sharks analyst with the pre and look at him already.
You know what? I got to take my hat off.
Yeah, let the skin fly, bro. It's a bald celebration today.
Let's go, Ted.
Let's
dude. Let's go, TR. Come on.
Ted Ramey, you see him on NBC Sports Bay Area doing Sharks pre and post. He's also the play-by-play voice of the Quakes. He is one of our favorite guys. We worked with him for a long time over at KNBR. And I've been really happy, Tony, watching his trajectory. He's having a great career in front of the camera. So, Ted Ramey, welcome to Polymax Particles. It is great to see your face, my man. How you doing today, brother?
I am excellent. I just have to say, like, when you have a life like mine, when for so long every day I saw both of you daily, I know that side where the grass is at its most green to compared to now when I don't get to see you guys daily. Like, I want to go back to like 2013 when it was every day. I was going into Tony's studio to go and listen to something or, bitch and moan about something, or I was going into you guys in commercials, probably talk to you and Brian and just rip out, something Rolling Stones like that. That was the best life. I love what's going on now, but like not being able to see you guys on the daily, it's not as much fun for me.
Well, I got to say, Ted, it's just great to see you, man. We've always been great friends over the years, and I'm serious, dude. My cap is off to you. I love what's happening with you and your career. And it's funny, a lot of people on our comments line ask sort of regularly, like, hey, how come you guys don't talk about the Sharks? When are you going to start talking about the Sharks? And we do. We try to mix it in when we can. But let's be honest, the Sharks are having a very, very rough year. They are the lowest possible. Yeah,
It's tough.
it's been rough. So you know what? Let's start right there in a broad sense, Ted. Like, what is the road out of this for the Sharks? Because they had success for so many years, a constant playoff presence, one of the best fan bases in the NHL. I mean, they would sell out night after night, season after season. But now they're down, and everything is cyclical, as we know. But what's the road out, Rames? How do they get back up on their feet?
So right now, if I would just take it back, it was like when the era ended, their last deep playoff run was in the spring of 2019. They made it to the Western Conference Final. That was the year they had the incredible Game 7 comeback against Vegas. But that was kind of the end. And then after that, they had a couple years where they were all right, but nothing special. And then they just had to tear it down. Doug Wilson, the forever GM, stepped down at that point. He was having some health troubles. They brought in Mike Greer. Mike Greer's job initially was to get them out of salary cap hell, essentially, because they had big money still tied up in Brent Burns and Erik Karlsson and Tomas Hertl, and there was the decision to be made about Timo Meier. So he traded away Brent Burns, he traded away Erik Karlsson, he traded away Timo Meier, eventually traded away Tomas Hertl, and that kind of set in motion what they were trying to do. Obviously, the long-term injury of Logan Couture has been a big factor as well, as he's got a weird pelvic injury that's kept him off all but 6 games for the last 2 years. Yeah. So now we are watching them kind of build it back. They've got all the cap room in the world, and they've been drafting very high-level prospects. 2 years ago, they had the number 4 overall pick. They bring in Will Smith. He's been one of the top rookies in the NHL this year. And last year, they had the number 1 overall pick, which is Macklin Celebrini, which is the kid of the Warriors trainer Rick Celebrini.
Yep. So cool.
Yeah, it's very cool. Draymond Green talks about him on his podcast. He's like, yeah, this Macklin kid, he's going to be the man. Draymond was right. Macklin Celebrini, he, in this first year of his NHL career, the youngest player in the NHL, he has accelerated the entirety of the rebuild. He is a generational talent. He's going to be a superstar for the next, 10, 20 years, however long he wants to go. He doesn't turn 19 till June. And so I know it's crazy. It is. And I always tell people, and I'll share it here just because, we're amongst friends.
Sure.
But I always say, like, I could make an argument that he's already one of the top 10 players in the NHL, but that sounds hyperbolic. Well, I think he is. I think he already is at that point where he has the impact on every zone, both directions, offense, defense. He has that already in his rookie season, a top 10 player, like a profile and ability. And I think we're going to be talking top 5 in very short order. So the path out is around these young studs. They've also brought up other young players this year, Colin Graff. They've brought up this goalie of the future that they traded for last offseason, Yaroslav Askarov, like the goofiest guy in the world. He's a true unique individual for like a Russian. He's always smiling and laughing and like playing jokes, and is known for his celebrations. Like, he had a shutout last year and he pulled down the net and laid on the ice and bench pressed it in the AHL.
Love it.
Like,
Love it.
He's a unique guy and just so much fun. But the path out is through these young guys. Okay. The Sharks are going to have a top 4 pick this year, it looks like. So, it's a lottery. So we'll figure out if they get the 1, 2, or the 3, or depending on where they finish. They are on par right now. They'd have the most balls in the hopper to have the number 1 overall pick. So it's around these young players. It's around the prospects. They have to spend like $20 million in cap space to get to the floor in the offseason. So one way or another, they're bringing in talent, but it's around these young players. That is the path out. I think they could take a big step next year. I think people should not be surprised if they are in the conversation of a wild card next year.
Nice. Oh, nice.
But it's surrounding the young talent. That's the path out right now.
Dude, by the way, balls in the hopper, Paulie. Let's I want more balls in the hopper.
That should be like our weekly segment with Ted Ramey. Now it's time for balls in the hopper with Ted Ramey. Yeah, dude. I like that.
Yeah. Ted, no surprise, but we're big on vibe here on this show, the vibes. And Nick DeFrancesco, one of our viewers who comments all the time, he's a big fan of yours, big fan of Sharks hockey, and he was asking, hey, when are you gonna have Ramy on? And he sent us an email that reminded me about Randy Hahn said after one of the games recently that they're like the most fun last place team in hockey. And I wanted to know, that sounds like there is a good foundation of a good vibe and a good energy with this squad, don't you think?
Oh, dude, totally. That's like the most glaring thing about all this is people are like, oh, the Sharks lost. They lost 8-1. They lost 6-1. But like at the same time, you've got Tyler Toffoli, who was their big offseason acquisition last year, former champion with the Kings, Stanley Cup champion back in 2014. He's been in a couple of places in the NHL. Dude is just a goal scoring and point racking up machine. And so he's like having sleepovers with Will and Mac. Like there was a game a couple weeks ago where they said, if we all score in this game, you're sleeping over in our hotel room.
Love this.
And he's like, no, I'm not. And they're like, yes, you are. And so at the end of the game, he forgot about it and scored an empty netter. He's 33 years old roughly. And so he skates over at the bench after he scores, and the guy's like, you're in our bunk. And he's like, no, I'm not. I'm not doing that. I'm getting a good night of sleep. He's like, I'm an old man. And then the head coach, Ryan Warsofsky, who, by the way, is only 37 years old himself, he looks at Toffoli and he goes, oh, yes, you are.
Nice.
They
nice.
out a pic of them all sleeping like Toffoli's in this like pull-out bed that the hotel staff brought up, and Will and Macklin are bed. And it's just, it takes off. Everybody's having fun. But, they show Will and Macklin, who, Will just turned 20 a couple weeks ago. So all year it's been an 18 and 19-year-old. They're giggling on the bench. They're having fun. They're scoring goals together, assisting each other. Just, again, the vibes. All these things. Like everybody looks at how much fun these guys are having. And you compare it to what 2 years ago, number one pick in the draft that Will Smith was drafted was Connor Bedard. And he looks like a generational talent as well. But like Chicago, it's very serious. It's very dour a lot of the time. And I feel bad for Bedard because he's an incredible talent. But like, it's not fun. Whereas in San Jose, you see Will and Macklin, they're giggling. You got the 20-year-old goalkeeper who's doing the bench press celebrations. You have all this fun happening. Yeah, they are the worst team in the NHL, but you can tell that they're having fun. And I also think that guys around the league are going to look at that and go, you know what? I want to play there. And to bring it Bay Area centric, this is the way that I've been talking about it. We all remember what the Warriors were like when they had Klay Thompson and Steph Curry and Harrison Barnes and Draymond Green, back in the MJax days when we were all like, this team could have something. They're not good yet.
Something's brewing though. Yeah, you can see something's bubbling. Yeah.
That's the comparison that I make to where the Sharks are right now. And I think if you want to go back even further, you remember the 09 Giants when they were kind of in the conversation towards the end of the year, but
great call.
Was already a stud. You had Brian Wilson. He was already
you could feel it coming. You could feel it coming.
Sanchez was amazing at that point. Barry Zito would still have some great outings at that point and would for another couple of years, obviously so big in 2012. But like you feel it. Like you can feel the vibes. And Bruce Bochy, and this is funny, Drew Remenda has talked about this before, and he references that Giants era, and he references it to what's going on with the Sharks now. He says, Bochy let a bunch of weirdos on the Giants be themselves. Like he let Huff be Huff. Like all these guys who were just kind of unusual. Wilson,
be Wheezy, dude. Be Wheezy, right? I mean,
exactly. Like these were weird guys. And so, like, kind of on the Sharks right now, you've got a bunch of unique, different young personalities. And Warzo's like, hey, if we play hard, if we do what we take care of, I'm not going to try and put you in a box. I'm going to let you be yourself. So, I make these comparisons. Obviously, the Giants, 2010, they're winning a World Series. It happened very, very quickly. I'm not putting that pressure on the Sharks as of yet. The Warriors, it took a couple years for them to get rolling, but that first year under Steve Kerr. But those are the vibes that I'm getting. Like you can feel like things could happen very quickly.
Love having Ted Ramey on the show. For real, Ted. This is great. It's great to hear you. Great to see you. I want to do more of this. Maybe we'll do another hit in the Stanley Cup playoffs. A couple more things for you, Rames. And then I want to talk about Ovechkin for a second before I let you go. But I got to talk about your coach, okay, Warsofsky. Like a lot of people don't know this, but I have a Paulie Mack connection to this cat. And here's what it is. He played hockey at the college I went to in Boston, Curry College in Boston. He's a Curry product. I'm a Curry product. Now, I was buried in the college radio station for 4 years, but I can tell you this, all kidding aside, the kids that play at Curry, like, it's a different breed of play. He's a Massachusetts kid, too, and I got to tell you, those kids are on skates from the time they're like 2 years old.
Nice.
And I played some hockey in New Jersey when I was in high school, and then when I went up to Boston, I'm like, hey, I'm gonna skate with these guys. No. These guys, bro, I couldn't even, like, one of my things was Rams is I was a decent defenseman, not great, but I was decent. These guys were going around me like I wasn't even there, bro. These guys were like I was invisible. So I realized it was time for me to hang the stick up. But my point is, makes me happy that a guy like Warsofsky came from such a small school and now he's coaching in the NHL. I think that's really cool. That's one thing. And two, I want to go back to Celebrini for a second because one of the features you guys ran over the weekend was this feature about Celebrini and the Make-A-Wish Foundation and that kid who came in. Dude, this is the thing I maintain, being around as many professional athletes as we all are in our career, football players, baseball, basketball, hockey, soccer. We've met them all. I'm telling you, pound for pound, man for man, you will not find a better breed of human being than professional hockey players. First of all, they might be the toughest athletes in the world. You could make a good argument that they are, but they're also the most humble, down to earth. Like there's no, hey, look at me bullshit going on. It's all about team. It's all about playing with your maximum effort and potential, and watching Celebrini escort this kid around. Maybe you could tell our listeners about this, because that really was heartwarming. And Celebrini, like you said, he's a young kid himself, and to show that kind of class, I was very impressed.
No, it's incredible. Like that's the thing. He's 18 years old. Like, I think we can all remember how we were at 18 years old. Like if somebody came to me with that and said, Ted, we want you to, be with this young kid. He's 5 years old. He's beat cancer. Excuse me. Sorry, I'm getting over a cold. But he, at 18, I've been like, I don't know if I can handle that from like an emotional perspective. Like that'd be the kind of thing that would get to me. Like, I don't know if I'd be able to like, all right, bury it, keep it cool. Cause that's, especially all of us now, parents now being presented with that. That's a lot to go through. And like, as an 18-year-old kid, you're like, all right, you're this kid's hero, show him a good time. And I got to give credit to his dad, because his dad, was a Canadian men's national team soccer player. He played, for their team, international competitions, in addition to being a trainer in the athletic world. And so I think his dad has done a really good job of preparing his son of like, this is what it's like being a professional athlete. This is what it's like when you're going to take these steps. Like there's a reason he had him around the Golden State Warriors and being around Steph and Dre and Clay and all these guys. And so he could get a very up close and personal view of what that's like. But yeah, I mean, for this kid, Luke, who I heard about it when it was being planned a while ago, and this was his wish, and you're thinking, like, that's how cool is that he's already having the impact on like young kids who are like, oh, I want to go and be around this, because that shows that, the personality shining through the screen to a 5-year-old, right? That like this guy is having so much fun out there having ice, but he's 5 years old. We go, 10, 15 years in the future, he's probably not going to remember this weekend all that well. It's obviously well documented, so he'll be able to look back at it, but his parents are going to be able to look back at this. And for Macklin Celebrini and Will Smith as well, all the Sharks, they had him go take part in practice. They were all, letting him out there skate on the ice, having fun,
cool.
Setting him up for goals, like all that stuff, like the impact that stuff has on the parents. You can't even, I can't even imagine what sort of an impact that has. So like the entire weekend, what they were able to do for him, such a cool opportunity. And then again, just for Macklin Celebrini, just at 18 years old, to have the maturity to handle that situation, to have the spotlight put on you in such a unique way. You can't really speak to that enough. And I mean, hockey players, they're great dudes. Here's the thing, Paul, we talk about hockey players being such great guys. Like in the Bay Area, we've really been lucky with so many great athletes. And I think we get really spoiled here just because we have a unique culture. I was talking about this earlier when I was doing an interview for the Sharks Audio Network, as I pump my own stuff with Alan Oshina, who's the host. And we were saying like, the Bay Area, we get it around here. Like Steph Curry, when he was living in the 925, if people saw him out and about, they'd leave him alone.
Yeah. I think it's the best thing you can do. Yeah.
When Will and Macklin are going down, Santana Row, like guys leave them alone. When Hunter Pence was scooting around, the mission, people would leave him alone. Like we do a good job of that. And so, I think that there's a reciprocal nature that allows guys to be even more themselves in the Bay Area. And then, you get guys who leave it and go hang out in the desert while they don't win championships.
Come on, KD. What are we doing, KD? Dude. All right, couple more for Ted Ramey today, and then we're going to let Ted get on with his Monday. So I'll do this at the very end. I want to have like one Stanley Cup question for you. But first, Ovechkin, bro, because I grew up, again, I mentioned being a kid in Jersey, and I grew up in the 80s, right, Rame? So I grew up when I was a teenager, Wayne Gretzky was literally setting the world on fire. I got to see him play in the 83-84 season. I saw him at Madison Square Garden. He scored 2 goals, and that I saw him. He was just a phenomenon, unlike anything we had ever seen. And he's one of those guys where I always assumed that record, you're never going to even come close to touching. To me, he's like a Jerry Rice figure where the gap is so big to the next guy that you're just like, well, it's just never going to happen. Guess what? It's happened. So I just want your read on this. Like, how does the world view Ovechkin now? I mean, all the accolades are coming in, everybody from Derek Jeter to Tom Brady, everyone's getting their love in, and he deserves it. But like, will he now be looked at as the greatest offensive hockey player of all time? He's got the numbers, or do you think Wayne Gretzky will always have like a special place in that kind of discussion?
I mean, it's one of the things that I don't like to do is always make the comparison of greats of all time, because I think it's unfair to compare guys outside of their era because they didn't have the opportunity to compete with different rules and different things. Like the one thing, and I've made that reference before with Jerry Rice as being in outer space compared to everybody else.
Yeah.
With Gretzky, this is the craziest stat in the history of North American sports. If you take away all of Gretzky's goals, he's still the NHL's all-time points leader. That's the dumbest thing I have ever heard.
It's ridiculous.
It's absolutely insane. Like you're like, wait a minute, and you start thinking about it, and it's stupid. It's silly. And so that tells you how far out in space he was. But again, that's a different era. It's hard, and it's not fair to him to compare his numbers and what's happening today. But, when we look at what Alex Ovechkin has done, in this generation, it's been him and Sidney Crosby. It's been the two of them. So of this era, I still put Sid number one, and Alex Ovechkin is right there. And, he's the greatest goal scorer of all time now.
What are you going to say? Yeah, that's it.
What comeback is there that he's a Stanley Cup champion as well? His team might win it again this year. They've got a great squad in Washington. And so, in the pantheon of all-time greats, I think there's an easy argument to say that he's top 5. Some people might say that he's top 10, because then you start getting into the older names and some of the different, and like it's too much. Like you can't, all you have to say is in his era, is he right there at the top? And yes, he was. And now we see the 39-year-old guy who's not as active on the ice and, scores those one-timers from the left circle. And that's more of what his game is now. But when he was younger, I mean, guys would say that if you got checked by Ovechkin, like you would feel it 4 days later. And if you tried to put a check on him, he wouldn't move. There's a clip of him playing in a charity soccer game from like 10 years ago. And it's against like other professional athletes. And he's like twice the thickness. He's like 6'3", 6'4".
He's a monster.
Just huge. Like if he had played, he could have been a fullback or a tight end or a wide receiver or whatever. Like any sport. I don't think there's any doubt that Alex Ovechkin could have done whatever he wanted. And I always go back to when I was, younger watching him and he was more active. Some guys, they glide on the ice. Like Patrick Marleau had the silkiest stride. He would just make, ease. And there are guys like Pavel Bure back in the day who looked like they were shot out of a cannon. These days, Connor McDavid looks like he's wearing an invisible like jetpack that you can't see because he just flies down the ice. With Ovechkin, he would look like he was toe picking, running down the ice like a sprinter, and he would burn past guys. And so, like, the physical force he was back in the day, just all over the place, that's hard to deny as well, because it was head on a swivel. Like, I don't want to get blown up by Ovechkin, because he would blow guys up. And now, he's a little bit, he's older. He's, we were talking about this earlier. He's a little bit like Steph Curry. Like, he's going to be an offensive force in every single game that he's in. He's not as young as he was. None of us are. But, dude, he's so good. Like, the fact that, remember earlier this year, somebody was like, oh, he's a one-trick pony. It's like, well, that's one hell of a trick, guys.
Yeah. His trick is pretty impressive. His trick is pretty damn impressive. And by the way, just for the sake of the late Ralph Barbieri, because he's not with us anymore, but on his behalf, I got to jump in right now. How are you guys not mentioning Bobby Orr, Mark Messier, Gordie Howe, and Rocket Richard, for God's sake? Anyway, shout out to the late Ralph Barbieri. He would have had something to say there. All right, last question for you, Rames. Stanley Cup. Listen, I'm an original 6 guy, man. I love the original 6 teams. My pet team has always been the Toronto Maple Leafs. Why? Because to me, they're like the Chicago Cubs of the NHL. These poor bastards, I mean, they helped build the league, and they can't sniff a goddamn cup to save their life. Now, having a good year. They're right there in the mix. 98 points, 47 wins. Rames. That's the team I am like crossing my fingers for them to finally skate the cup around. But you tell me realistically, like, who do you like as the playoffs are approaching as like your favorite to win the cup at the end of this whole playoff race?
I mean, right now it's very, very hard because there's so many good teams. Washington's really good. Toronto is really, really good. Florida is really, really good again. I really like how Vegas is. LA, the Kings just blew out the Sharks the other day. They looked absolutely phenomenal. I mean, right now, if I had to pick a team out of the West, I would probably go with Edmonton again, because I think, Connor McDavid is such a ridiculous force. I told you about how earlier he looks like he is on he's got an invisible jetpack, an invisible propulsion system. he's one of those guys when you see him in person, he's just absolutely different than anybody that I've ever seen. And he's at his peak right now. And the way that he and that squad, after getting down 3-0 to Florida last year, was able to push it to a game 7. And I don't know if you guys watched that documentary where they showed just how absolutely devastated he was after they lost in game 7. I mean, that's what I always come back to when people say, oh, these professional athletes, they're in it for the money. It's like when I was a kid, my dad had me in the 90s in the 49ers locker room with him after those, playoff losses to like the Packers. You would see these like 350-pound men like absolutely devastated in tears.
Yep.
And I'm like, no, this is not about money. This is about something much deeper. And seeing Connor McDavid busted up, it reminded me of that, being in the locker room after that when the 49ers had lost to the Packers and seeing the absolute emotional devastation. And that kind of like when you get that close, it changes an athlete. And it reminds me of Florida the year before when they lose, that changed them as a team. They come back and they win it all. So I'm wondering if Edmonton, having been through that, having just been right there, they pushed the boulder right to the top, and then it comes pushing them all the way back to the bottom of the hill. That changes a team. And I wonder if that's going to be such an incredible motivation for them to take them all the way to the top. But you never know. I mean, Toronto, they've been so snake bit in the playoffs, but you look at the talents they have, especially with, you've got Mitch Marner, who Toronto fans give him a hard time. Didn't look like there was anything wrong with him in the Four Nations tournament. Then you start talking about Austin Matthews. Then you start talking about John Tavares. I mean, these guys have incredible top end talent, and for them and what they're capable of doing, it's going to be phenomenal. I mean, the Stanley Cup playoffs are always amazing. And I think that whoever emerges, they earn it every single time. They earn it. It's, so hard to win. I'm just ready to sit back and this is the joke I always say is I'm good at being a sports broadcaster because I'm always wrong. Like that's what I did.
Right here. Join the club, bro.
Totally. Like, I'll probably lose in the first round now. And I'm like, way to go, Ted. Like, thank you. Like that's what I'm best at here.
Hey, Rames, listen, brother, it was so great to have you on today. I love hearing you talk hockey and Sharks, all of that knowledge, bringing it to our show. It's greatly appreciated. Go ahead, Tony. I see you got something left for him. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to say, Ted, you mentioned how when players get close, it changes the player, right?
Yeah.
And I also feel like with the Sharks fan base, when they got close, it changed the fan base. And I feel like the next time the Sharks get close, or even win the Stanley Cup, the Sharks fan base will erupt. I feel like they're just waiting to erupt because a very loyal fan base. And I'm like, remember those playoff runs and how exciting and how passionate.
You know what's going to be like, Tony? It's going to be like the Warriors after that huge postseason layoff when they had the We Believe year and the place went apeshit. It's going to be like that because the Sharks, listen, Shark fans, you could make an argument that they became somewhat spoiled or just the expectation was, hey, we're a perennial playoff team. We got Thornton, Pavelski, and on, and we're always going to be right there knocking on the doorstep. Well, now the times are different. Now they are on the downturn, but Tony's right. When they come back and they get into the playoff, watch out. No one's going to want to come into the tank. Nobody.
I'll put a Sharks playoff game up against any other sporting event in the Bay Area. I mean, it is electric.
I've been to all of them, and I don't want to go out there and say that one is better than the other because, I've been literally every team in the Bay Area. I've been there for a playoff game. And, I will just say there's nothing better than the Sharks at a playoff game. And I was, I've been there during the Warriors runs. I've been there during the Giants. I mean, it's all absolutely incredible. I would just say that in 2019, when the Sharks had their last playoff run, and that's the one that's most close to my mind because I was there at the series in 2014 when they, were there with the Kings and, the Stanley Cup run as well. And, but the one that's most recent in mind when they went to the Western Conference Final in 2019, the vibe in the building, the way the place was just the electric atmosphere. I mean, you guys remember, with the Giants in particular back in 2010 when it was like going to those early round playoff games. It was the Braves in the first round. Getting into back then, it was AT&T still at that point, correct?
The
vibes were just incredible. Like the energy, the electricity just kind of reminded me what it was back in the day when the Oakland A's would host a playoff game. Just the electricity out in front of the parking lot. That's what it was like getting to the tank before those games. You'd see people in the parking lot, everybody walking from San Pedro Square to towards the tank. I mean, just it's hard to beat that vibe. And listen, the Bay Area, like when there's so much competition, you're like, this is what I don't like when people are like, oh, the fans go away when the Giants or the Niners or the Sharks or the Quakes. And it's like, well, yeah, because when the 49ers are down, the Warriors are up. And when the Warriors are down, the Giants are up. And when the Sharks are, like, you have so much competition, not to mention all the museums, the concert venues, the restaurants.
The hiking. What do you want? Mountains, ocean.
We have the best of everything. So it's like, we're going to be like, well, I'm going to spend my money on what's going to have the maximum outcome here. So it's just how it is. It's cyclical to your point. But when it's back, it's going to be an eruption. It's, as the kids would say probably about 6 years ago, it will be lit.
No, it's going to be lit. Ted Ramey, you were lit today, brother. Thanks for the time. It really was great talking to you. Our audience loved you as well. I'm watching the comments. Everyone's throwing their hands up. They all love Ted Ramey. So,
anytime,
guys. Yeah, we will. We'll be knocking on your door. We'll do another hit during the postseason. So thanks for the time today, Ted. Keep up the great work, brother. Great seeing you, man.
Be good, gents. Love you both.
There he goes. One of my favorite people on the planet, Tony. I'm not going to try to hide it. I've always been a big Ramey fan. And you know what's funny? We didn't even have time. I don't know if we're never going to have enough time. We didn't get into any of his massive devotion to the band U2. He's the biggest U2 fan I know.
Or his Quakes work, dude. His voice.
Quakes work. Listen, we got to talk Bono in the Edge. We got to talk Quakes. We'll do it next time, Tony, because the clock is ticking and it's almost a lunch break for everybody. And we have to get into the city. We got a goddamn lunch to go to. So
exactly. But one last point about Ramey. It is nice to finally be able to have him on. Remember, we were told, oh, you can't have Ted on. He's on the competition. He's on. It's like you can't have Ramey on.
I got guns. I got guns for everybody telling me what to do. I'll tell myself what to do. Now
we can do what the fuck we want. Excuse me.
And we do. And I think, and we'll continue to do so. Tony, bummer, blanking, brackets. Get them up there. Let's make some moves. Let's settle this thing.
Let me get this thing going here. Stand by, because it's
and I want to take it a step farther today. When you get your bummer brackets up, would you be good enough to kind of cross-pollinate? I think I might want to feed the ducks while I'm making choices today.
Oh,
would that be possible? Would that be possible?
That is definitely possible.
Okay.
And we're going to finish out the right side of the bracket first, but let me get the ducks.
We will, Leah. That's exactly what we're going to be doing, Leah. Thank you, dear.
What did Leah want? I missed what Leah
She said, keep doing whatever the fuck you want. I appreciate that. That's kind of where my head has been at for quite a while now, Leah. Thank you, dear. All right, Tony.
Sweet. Yeah. So brackets up there, Paulie. So we have of the Final Four, we already have Brittany Mahomes has advanced to the Final Four. She beat out Dodger fans. She's worse than the Dodger fans. So now what's worse, Paulie, to round out this side of the bracket? What's worse? Just the human being, Patrick Mahomes, or the most annoying facet in my mind about Patrick Mahomes? The flopping.
This is where this is my area of expertise, hating Patrick Mahomes. So let me tackle this as an analyst should. For start, here's the problem I have with Mahomes flopping. Tony, it doesn't paint enough of a picture about what an asshole this guy is. Let me explain. So the flopping is just one incredibly offensive part of what he brings to the football field on Sunday.
Right.
But that leaves out the pissing and crying and moaning to the refs after almost every snap where something doesn't go his way. Remember the time the referees dared to call offsides on the Chiefs and they had to take a touchdown back and he had to be physically restrained from attacking the refs? Those refs are like his best friends. So that's offensive. The flopping is offensive. The fact that he is now being propped up as like the greatest quarterback of all time is unbelievably
it's a bunch of horse mess. And I love when you see those compilations of him barking at refs, which thank God for NFL Films, man, because NFL Films is unbiased and they just give you great footage.
Go ahead, Tony.
They're not taking a stance on anything. They're just like, oh, here's a compilation of Patrick Mahomes complaining to the refs over and over and over again, and it's usually because he got hit hard, right? And it's like, hey, dude, that's part of football, dude, is getting hit hard, dude. And like the fact that they like the way he continues to play the game, he's gonna get blasted at some point. Not that I want him to. I
want him to get hit the guy, hit him hard.
I want him to get
hit him real hard.
Stick
a helmet in his chest. Let's play football, man. Come on.
I'm not rooting for injury. That's all I'm saying.
I'm not either. No, I don't
want him to get. I want him if he's going to continue to pull that crap. I want somebody to knock him on his ass.
Remember in what was the Super Bowl? The Raiders when they won their first Super Bowl. I forget who the D lineman was. It Tatum? It might have been Tatum coming across the middle of the field. He hit Sammy White so effing hard.
Yeah.
White's helmet went flying off his head. It looked crazy, dude. It's one of the craziest looking hits ever. And then Sammy White just clutches the football like he's frozen in terror.
Dude, do you
I
remember
want
when his
that kind
helmet?
of shit. I'm looking for that. I want to see Mahomes' helmet go flying off, dude.
But remember when his helmet cracked in the playoffs this past year, and like they stopped the whole freaking game.
Well, stop. They shut down traffic too. Let's pause commerce. Let's make sure Mahomes is okay.
There's a weird like
I
obsession.
know they
with him.
pamper his ass. They pamper him. And then Tony, did I mention the Big Bird voice? Like I got to listen to that shit. Cut the shit. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to advance Patrick Mahomes, the human, because the flopping, it doesn't paint enough of a picture about what a D-bag is. So let's move. Sorry, let's move Mahomes. Now we got a hell of a battle in the Final Four, man versus wife. We'll get into that in a second.
Dude, look at that. Yeah, husband versus wife in the Final Four on that side of the bracket. So that's finished, right?
Let's
so
round off the other side. Yeah.
Now we're gonna go couples therapy versus a torn Achilles, and this is a tough one, dude, because I've never had a torn Achilles, so it's hard for me to speak on this.
Oh, now we'll have enough time. Yeah,
but boy, have I had spent some time in couples therapy, and like
right here, dude. Yeah, me too. I've done my time.
It's like we riffed on. It's like, hey,
I don't recommend
$300. Yeah. Thanks for another fight.
Yeah, and enjoy the ride home where the tension is so thick you can cut it with a knife, and no one's talking, the radio's off, dead silent, just driving home, wondering what in God's name I'm doing with my life. Why am I paying this lady? Yeah. Anyway, finish your thought, T. Go ahead, man.
No, that's all I'm saying. Is like, okay, so I'm literally paying you to just start another fight. Things are actually kind of calm the last week before our last session. Things kind of died down, and now we got this. Now I got like anxiety about my upcoming couples therapy session because I know things are going to get heated again.
No, of course. And by the way, shout out.
But then I need therapy for my couples therapy.
I do know. And shout out Bonnie, aka Scarlet Fire. She's funny, dude. She's sneaky funny. She goes, you guys, you actually can rehab an Achilles. You get it? I don't know if you can rehab a bad marriage. It's a great call, dude. It's a great call.
I think that answers the question right there.
Yeah, Rags checking in saying, surprisingly, I've never done couples therapy. Rags, listen, from me to you as best friends, I'd say steer clear of that shit, bro. Just don't even get involved. Don't even get involved. And by the way, don't get the wrong idea. I am a proponent of therapy. I really am. It benefited me in a lot of ways, and but that was one-on-one, dude. That's one-on-one. You bring that other party involved. Now you got problems. Now the shit starts getting crazy. Yeah.
I feel like couples should go do their separate therapies and then kind of, kumbaya after each session.
Wow, Tony, if it was only that easy, you know what I mean?
I know.
If it was only that easy. Relationships, what are you going to do? All right, Tony, so let's make some calls here. I'm going to let you handle this one based on your strong
I'm saying couple therapy advances because like you said, you can heal. A torn Achilles can heal.
Thank you, Scarlet Fire. She's all over. She knows what she's talking about. All right, and then what do you got underneath that?
And then below that, here I'll zoom in again. We've got the freaking sliding oven mitts, which Ellie De La Cruz does two sliding oven mitts.
It's a terrible look. You know what, Tony? Because of the fact that you have a little league son in your house and you're a coach and you've been a baseball player your whole life, I'm going to let you tackle this one too. This matchup is all you.
I'm going to need some help from the Army, PMP Army here, because dude, digital tickets pisses me off just as much as oven mitts, if not more.
Yeah,
because the oven mitts, it doesn't personally affect me.
Tony,
it just angers me that I'm trying to give kids signs from third base and they're busy wrapping their oven mitts on and fitting them on their hands. That's you know what I mean,
dude. I didn't see the sign, Coach. I was too busy gearing up my oven mitt. Hey, Tony, if you give me 5 seconds, I just want to prove a point. I can step to the other side of this room here, and I could, within seconds, I can be back with a stack of killer ticket stubs. Give me a second. I just want to show you.
Go. But I truly mean that, everybody. I coach a little quote unquote travel ball team, and the coaching staff, we got together and said, you know what? We are banning oven mitts from the team. You are not allowed to use an oven mitt. If you want to bring it and like have it in your bag and you want to have it in your back pocket of your pants, so ever you think it looks cool, fine. But you are not using an oven mitt on the field. So now what do you got, P?
Well, I'm not going to make a big thing out of this, but I'm just going to show you, like, this is what you miss when you're unable to get a printed ticket anymore. Like, these are, okay, here we go. Warriors Nuggets. What year is this? 2017. Look at this bad boy. You know what I mean?
See, that's beautiful.
Went to
Look
the
at
game
that.
with
That's
my kid. I got this beautiful ticket here.
Beautiful.
Here's another one. Warriors, Pistons. Okay, bada boom. Look at this one. There's Klay
Yeah,
Thompson.
see, dude, that's
Got this
beautiful.
Nice thing. Tony, Niners. Who the hell are they playing here? Niners. Preseason game. Oh, I think I was at Pecan with this game. Here you go. Look at this.
Nice.
Niners preseason, Candlestick Park. Bam. What do you want? You like that? 2016 playoffs. Look at this. Here's a Warrior ticket stub. Big, beautiful ticket stub. Shout out Andre Iguodala.
See, dude, the ticket stubs. It's a beautiful thing.
This isn't even a ticket stub, but shout out to Rush and Starman. I got that right there too. And then Tony, for good measure, I just decided to pull out a Star Wars card. I got a whole stack of them, and there's one now.
Beautiful. And Paulie,
C3PO. Yeah.
let me. I'm going to stop the screen here, and then I'm going to present something else because let me show you my most recent ticket stub. Are you ready?
Yeah.
This is my most recent ticket stub. There's my most recent ticket stub. There you
That's
go.
what I'm saying, Tony. Can I get a Keith Richards laugh, please? Can I
Look
get
at
a
all
Richards?
the character. Look at all the character in that ticket stub.
I
Oh
want
man,
Keith.
I
Show
can't wait
Keith.
to save that thing. I can't wait to save that thing. Come on. Oh, there's my ticket stub. Here, let's get Mike Tyson. Let's get Robert De Niro.
If I have a choice of this right here, Draymond Green on his big, beautiful gold letter embroidered ticket stub, keepsake of all time, or barcode, I think I'm going to ride with Draymond on this one, Tony.
Cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for the barcode. That's awesome. Or my QR code. Now it's a QR code.
I love it. I love a good QR code, Tony. You know that. Mine had one extra stripe. That's how I can tell it was a keeper. Yeah,
dude,
and
and
the one extra stripe.
Literally, I mean, and you can like save it. And you can show your kids and your kid and their
Look at his
grandkids.
barcode. I tell my grandkids about that barcode. Yeah,
dude, I have a feeling. I think the digital tickets are moving on based on.
All right, but let's go back. I lost my brackets. Yeah. Let's go back to that. And Tony
it's sliding oven mitts is gonna. Oh, excuse me. Sliding oven mitts is gonna get gonna get defeated by digital tickets, I believe. Did we check the comment line if there's anything that just?
Let's see.
Let's see. I'm looking. Digital tickets gets my vote from Rising Wolf.
It's a win. It's a win. Digital tickets advances.
Digital tickets. Okay. All right. I'm seeing digital tickets.
All right. Let's finish this up, man. Let's get this champion done.
That's the final four. So that's the final four.
Do we walk away now, or do we choose a champion tomorrow? You tell me.
I think we should choose a champion tomorrow. Let's let people ponder. Right? There's
give me the matchup.
Four.
Give me the matchups. Yeah.
Final four. Couples therapy versus digital tickets. Ooh, that's a spicy
hell of a matchup.
Then you got the Mahomes family. You got Patrick Mahomes going up against Brittany Mahomes. I love that.
The fact that there's more than one Mahomes in the Final Four is incredible. We got his wife involved.
And the fact that a Mahomes will end up in the championship game is amazing.
I got bad news. I got a feeling that somebody named Mahomes is going to walk away with the whole damn thing. I really do. I'll show you a champion. You want to see how much of a champion is? He won our worst shit ever bracket of all time. Well, he's on the brink. He's on the brink of another title. All right, Tony, clap this. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you bet.
I want to say, oh, by the way, Wink's coming in with that kind of Wink's humor that I love so much. How about Pat and Brittany Mahomes in couples therapy together? Imagine that shit show about him talking with the Big Bird voice, and then she's upset. Not enough screen time. Taylor Swift's getting too much camera. I don't even know what they would complain about, but they'd find something. All right, Tony, listen, great show today. A lot of fun.
Oh, yeah, super fun. And Ted Ramey, just incredible, man.
That's
Ted
what I was
Ramey
say.
For
all
life,
day.
Dude, for life.
Ted Ramey for life. One of our favorite guys. We'll talk music with him next time. We will talk Quakes with him next time. And Tony, if you're cool with it, I would like to get Rames. Maybe when the Stanley Cup finals are set, we'll get Rames back on the show. What do you think?
Absolutely, dude. 100%. 100%. Okay. I'm a Ramey head. I've always been a Ramey fan. Always.
Oh, and by the way, remember last week you were saying we got to do a show where we're all wearing tank tops? We're all sitting around wearing tank tops.
Boy.
I want to do a show where Ted Ramey's wearing tank tops so you can behold the physique he's bringing to the table. Guys can't see it when he's wearing his sweatshirt. That kid's ripped. I'm telling you right now, that kid throws up a lot of weight. Patty is super.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw Patty up in a second, but Dom just reminded me in the comment section. I want to throw this up for everybody, just because we're talking ticket stubs.
Yeah,
I want to throw. It's uploading right now, and it should be popping up any second here. But Dom had these available, and let's just throw that up there. There,
yeah,
is your ticket stub. Right.
You know what one of my favorite details of this, and thanks, Dom. Everything Dom's done has been freaking amazing. I love that it still has Bass tickets. The guy, the fish with the tickets in his hand, bro.
Dude.
Bring him back. Bring back the Bass guy, the fish holding tickets. He got his tail going at the bottom.
Dude,
I love that, man. Yeah.
And by the way, instead of Bass tickets, it's Basque Bay Area Sports Collective tickets. That's what we're going to change it to. BASC tickets, not Bass tickets.
Maybe this is a good time to make a special announcement then. We're talking about Basque tickets, Polymac particle tickets. Tony, collapse this one final word of goodwill I want to share with our friends in the audience. This is a big deal, and I'm really happy to announce this.
Patty.
Thank you, Patty. What up, Mikey? How you guys? Are you guys still out in Arizona? Standing on the corner in Winslow, Arizona? All right, Tony, listen to this.
Nice. Thank you, Patty.
Thanks to our partnership with our very dear friend Vicky, who is entrenched in the Metallica community. Yes. I just want to say this now. Now we're a few weeks out from this, but as we know, Metallica doing a couple of hometown shows in June. They'll be pulling in a Levi's Stadium, selling that joint out for 2 nights. So it's a Friday and a Sunday show. I am extremely, extremely happy to announce that starting, I believe, in May, we will launch the first ever Polymac Particle Metallica ticket giveaway. Tony, some applause.
Dude,
if
the
you
best.
could.
It's the freaking best.
And I have to thank Vicky for her help with this, but we have been gifted a stack of tickets, and I'm serious, a stack of tickets, and we're going to be giving those away. So if you got shut out on the Metallica show, don't even worry about it. I got them coming your way. We're going to do giveaway in the month of May. That's still a few weeks away, but why not announce it now? Get everyone's hopes up. Let's get those drums beaten. We're looking forward to the Metallica ticket giveaway, and we'll get there in the month of May. Tony, final words today.
Steve Bisecchio, Ride the Lightning. Hell yes, Steve. And by the way, those shows are June 20th and June 22nd, and we will be sharing details on how we will be giving them away. But we are so freaking thankful to Vicky, and so
dominates.
happy to know that the PMP Army representatives of the PMP Army will be in the house for Metallica.
I'm looking for a Creeping Death opener. I'm looking for a Damage Inc. And I'm also looking for a Whiplash. Let's make that happen. We'll talk more about it. Yeah. I got a lot of demands when I see Metallica. A lot of fucking demands.
Right,
all right,
on,
Tony,
dude.
Tony, but thank you, Vicky. The tickets are coming in May, and we'll take care of all our people, as many as we can. I want to thank everybody for lining up today. And first, a final word on Longbridge Pizza, our good friends on 3rd Street. If you've never been, grab a pen, my man, and jot this down. 2347 3rd Street in the Dog Patch.
Yes.
LongbridgePizza.com. Tony's good enough to throw the graphics up there. You can check their menu out anytime. It is extensive. They do have choices for those who cannot have gluten. They've got all kind of gluten-free stuff for you waiting. They got great beers on tap. They have the greatest playlist of any restaurant I've ever been to in my life. And to God, that is not an overstatement. How does Jimi Hendrix, Led Zeppelin, Rolling Stones, Trey Anastasio, Grateful Dead, Jerry Garcia Band, Live Jane's Addiction sound? I've heard them all. I've heard them all at Longbridge Pizza, and I guarantee you will too. That's all part of the vibe. That's why they even have the vibe listed over the pizza. That's how serious about the vibe is. Their laid-back vibe is real. Go in, bring the kids. They got screens all over the place. If you didn't make it to our opening day broadcast, just know this. It's a great place to watch a game.
Totally.
There's screens all over the goddamn place. So you can't, you're not going to get shut out. Anywhere you're sitting, you're going to have a great view of any given game. It'll be great for the Warriors. It'll be great for the Giants all year long. Tony, your final thoughts on Longbridge, and we send the class home.
Dude, Neil sent me a picture of what he was playing on screen inside Longbridge yesterday at halftime of the Warriors game. He was playing a live Les Claypool Primus set.
Oh my God.
Screen.
Oh my God.
Screen. And I go, Neil, that's why you rule. Like right in a nutshell, right there. We're not going to do the halftime show and all the commercials that go around it. We're going to put on live Claypool to enjoy while the Dubs are in the locker room. So, and speaking of the creative talents of Neil Donardi and our own Dom Peralta, art director, let me just get rid of this.
I think I need that on a t-shirt, dude. I really do. And by the way, when my whole radio career finally implodes, or when they finally throw me in jail, or whatever happens to me, because something bad is coming, I think, when I finally get released back out into the wild and I start because I mean, how many laws can I break without getting caught? They're going to get me one day, but not yet. I do want to to have this on some kind of T-shirt, some kind of
Sure.
poster. I mean, it's just
Yes.
and the
It's
fact that I'm
beautiful.
holding a J, dude, is the greatest.
Dude. And I
hey,
love that the pizza tapes are the inspiration for this pizza box, like, and the old pizza tapes. But Paulie, you'll have to tell that full story at some point. I mean, I know a lot of people know it about the pizza tapes, but it is inspired by the pizza tapes because you see 100% homegrown. It's smoking, y'all.
Yeah.
And then you holding the little J. And do people? Is that a pinner? Paulie, would you consider that?
Well, it's a pinner, but it's BC bud, so it's extremely effective. You don't need a lot. A little goes a long way. You know what I mean?
And we should tell people that the Paulie Mac pizza is available at Longbridge. It is.
Yes, sir.
Tomato
Yes,
sauce,
it is.
mozzarella, maestro sausage, shaved onion, pecorino romano. It's available. Ask for the Paulie Mac pizza. Ask for the extra spices, the hidden stash behind the counter that are new spices, chili flakes you can add, and of course the beer selection as well. Longbridge.com. 2347 3rd Street, Longbridge Pizza. We freaking love those people.
All right, you guys, enjoy the national championship tonight. Enjoy the Giants, Logan Webb on the Hill. We'll cover that tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. right here on Polymac Particles. We'll name our first ever national champion in the bummer brackets. This is the first, certainly not the last. We'll do it every spring, but this will be the first one. Dom's already cooked up the trophy. It's pretty cool. You'll see it tomorrow. So, hey, Tony, we got to go.
You're going Jim Nance's Houston Cougars. I'm going Todd Golden's Florida Gators. We'll rumble tonight, and then we'll kind of figure it out tomorrow morning. Hopefully, I'm celebrating a Gator win. Hopefully, you're wanting a Cougar win.
All right, last thing too. Shout out Link Ray Rumble. Flam, 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 boom, boom. Great track. All right, hey, I'll see everybody tomorrow at 11 o'clock. Have a great day. Dismiss the class, David Lee, if you could.
Oh, dude, Jesus. Hold on.
Oh,
I gotta
Jesus.
get back.
Oh, Jesus. Whoa. A lot of demands. Yeah. We do it every day, T.
The ducks are being fed. But
we got to pull the ducks off the pond now. David Lee's waiting.
We got to get David Lee because we pulled the ducks off. Stand by.
Hells yeah, man. Love that riff. Tony, on the way out, give me that little groove. I'm singing the same note. Tony, have a great day.
Almost like a didgeridoo, like Beastie Boys on stage at Golden Gate Park with the Tibetan Freedom Concert and all the didgeridoos. That's what it sounds like in the beginning of that.
Shout out the Tibetan monks and shout out the monks on White Lotus, too, because they played into the story once again last time. We got monks involved. By the way, did you guys catch Rockwell praying with the monks? Did you guys catch that? It was a flash. He's in there. All right, everybody, have a great Monday. Enjoy the national championship. Go Giants. Tony, I'll see you in the city. We got to go to lunch, y'all.
Yeah, Giants Reds, by the way. Don't forget Giants Reds. We got Giants Reds tonight, tomorrow, Wednesday, and then they take off to New York to play the Yankees. How about that? Okay.
I hate the Yankees. We'll talk more about that tomorrow. Tony, be good. Everybody be cool. See you tomorrow, y'all. Have a great Monday. Peace.